Hello everyone, how you doing today? It's your girl PC. How you doing? How's your day going? Today we're gonna be talking about something very special, something very important. I want to thank you all for those that subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like and go ahead and share. Let people know what's going on here, what we're doing, and let's grow together. As you can already see, today we're going to be talking about my nursing journey. Yes, today we're going to be focusing on my nursing journey. I promised you that on PC Talk It, we're going to be talking about families. We're going to be talking about relationship tips, marriage tips, everybody and anybody in the family, even the friends that are part of the family. We're going to talk about them. And I promise you that I'm going to talk about my nursing journey. And also sometimes I'll come and give you some fashion tips that I get here and there. So today, as promised, I'm going to be talking to you about my nursing journey. So if you don't already know, I'm a nurse and I've been a registered nurse for over 6 years now. But in the United States, I've been a nurse for 2 years now. So my nursing journey, first off, I have a background in law. Growing up, I wanted to be a lawyer because I had lawyers around me. My granddad was a judge, was an attorney, was a judge. So and I had uncle that was a lawyer. And lawyers were also very respected in my communities where I grew up from. So I really wanted to be a lawyer, to command that respect. I love the way they call them my lord. And my granddad lived a very happy life, and he was an exemplary leader. Apart from the fact that he was a judge, he was a lawyer, he was also a good man. So I think that also contributed to why people honored him so much. So growing up, I wanted to be a lawyer. Fast forward, I got into a school. I got admitted into a school to study law, and after some time, something came up. I had to switch my career, and it was a very tough one. So I switching my career to nursing was something that my uncle like encouraged me to do. My uncle has been in the United States for quite a number of years. I can't remember how long, but it's close to over 20 years. So if I tell you that he is an authority in this field, then believe me. And he's also a doctor. So he suggested, why don't you go into nursing? I'm like, Uncle, nursing? How do you expect me to go into nursing? I don't have any background in sciences. I don't know chemistry. I don't know physics. I don't know maths. Like, I don't have any of such background. And he told me, consider it's not about what you know, it's about your determination. I'm like, from arts to sciences, from law to nursing, it's a big deal. So he gave me instances of people that have done it, that they are doing well in the United States, and I said, okay, I was gonna do it. So my journey started off on a rough path. I started my journey of being a nurse. I had to go back to sit for the West African Examination Council, or whatever that's called. I think that's the right name. I sat for the exam with the help of my friend and my sister. I talked about her in the last video. So she's been in my life for a very long time. So she was a science student. She was not just a science student, but she was a very good student. And so she taught me everything I know, or if I even know anything about physics, she taught me. If I know anything about chemistry and math, she taught me. She basically taught me everything that I am supposed to know. So just in case I don't know it again, but I'm supposed to know them, and she taught me. So she helped me. She was my friend. She helped me. And fast forward, I got into the university to study nursing. I had the choice of doing the associate nursing. Now, for you to be a nurse, there are two routes to become a registered nurse. Either you go through the associate degree, thereby spending like 2 years or thereabouts to become an associate degree, to get your associate degree, or you go through the BSN route of spending, like here in the States, you spend 4 years, back home it was like 5 years, so depending. So I got into the associate degree, but I was thinking about long term, so I went to do the BSN. I got the bachelor's. I went to do the bachelor's, And of course, I had so many challenges going into to do the bachelor's because I didn't have any background in sciences. So my very first year in the school, in my university, I had very challenging, I had to deal with chemistry, physics, maths, and all of that. And I didn't have a background. So I basically struggled through those courses. Maths, I failed maths in my first year. I failed chemistry, I failed physics. So this video today is just telling you about my journey. So if you're in that category, if you're a nursing student, if you're in any career that seems you're in medicine or whatever that you are doing now that seems like it's very challenging, or you are at the verge of giving up, that's why I'm doing this video today. It might even be in business, it might be in your marriage, it might be in anything that you're doing. So I didn't give up. I failed. Yes, I failed. I failed my chemistry, my physics, my maths. I failed all of those courses. So I already knew I was gonna have like extra year because I already failed them. Fast forward to my second year, I already had like the year one courses that I have to battle with. I had extra baggages. In year two, I had to do 8 courses, but now I have 8 plus 3 or even 4 courses that I had to carry along. So that was very challenging for me, but honey, I was determined. I was focused on the goal. The goal is to become a nurse. I told myself it doesn't matter how long it took me to be the nurse, I am going to do it. So I kept pushing even with all the fails that I had in my first year. Second year, the same thing. I had to do anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and because I already had some things already going on, some baggages that I had, I didn't do so well in those courses, even though I would have been able to do well because now it's about reading and understanding, but I couldn't do that because I had some things that were already dragging me behind. All the calculation courses, basically I failed them, but now I was determined to go ahead. So I continued my year 2. I struggled, and then I passed it. Coming to year 3, it was then that I was like, yeah, this is it. It's either you're doing this or you're not doing it, because now I already did 3 years as a law student. I already did 3 years, and now in year 3 of nursing, this is when they determine if you're going to go ahead as a nurse or you're going to drop and start all over again in year 1. So I prayed to God. I'm a very religious person. I love God, so I prayed to God. I'm like, God, you can't afford me to waste 6 years of my life. I already wasted 3 years in law school, and now I'm in nursing. You can't afford me. I can't afford to lose another 3 years. So please, God, you have to help me. So I prayed to God. I cried to God. I didn't have anything. As far as I was concerned, I was going to repeat, but then God came through for me. Names were published, and my name was among those that was going to move on to do nursing. So I was promoted. I continued. I wasn't on probation, so I continued as a nurse. Now in year 3, we're doing core nursing courses, so it was easier for me to read all of those things. There wasn't much calculations to do, but then I still had things that I already brought from my year 1 or my year 2 that were staring at me, but I still had to continue. So I continued. I did my year 3, year 4. The most interesting part of this story was at the end of the day, I was able to graduate with my friends. I graduated with my friends, yes, even though I had some setbacks, but I was able to graduate with my friend, which was what I promised God. God, Father, if you let me graduate with my friends, I'm going to be grateful for the rest of my life. And that's what he did. I graduated with my friends. I got my BSN. By the time I got my BSN in 2015, I was already ready to travel out. Like, my things were ready for me to travel. So I was just waiting for me to finish school so I can relocate to the United States. Like, they were already waiting for me. So fast forward, I came to the United States. And when I came to the United States, I was thinking, oh, okay, fine. I'm here. I have my BSN, so I can just go ahead and challenge the board. Honey, that wasn't what happened. It took me 2 years. I graduated. I came to the United States in 2016. It took me 2 years, literally 2 years for me to get all my papers. together. It was so frustrating, so I'm gonna do a video on that, how I got my papers and everything, my transcript and all the how I chose the board, the board of nursing that I chose. I'm gonna do a video on that and what you should do, what is required, what you should have and what you should not have in the next video. So finally I got my papers after 2 years of waiting. Now I'm also going to do a video on what you should be doing while you wait for your while you wait to write, to challenge the board, to write the NCLEX. So I was doing other things. I was studying. I got pregnant. I was making babies. At the end of the day, in 2019, the year I will never forget, God showed up for me in a way that I didn't expect. With all the preparation and everything, I passed the NCLEX. Yeah, I passed the NCLEX, and now I became a registered nurse in the United States of America. One of the highest paying jobs in the US. So yes, I became a registered nurse, and that was the turning point of my career. Mind you, all these years I haven't had an experience of a nursing experience. I graduated straight from home and I came here. I didn't have a nursing experience. Some of my mates were doing internship and all of that, but I didn't get the opportunity to do that. So I came here and I just I waited for 2 years. Finally, I got my license and now I had to practice. So when I was going to practice, there was this challenge because I didn't know the state where I was is different from the state where my uncle was. So in the state where my uncle was, he knew people already. He's a doctor, so he could press some buttons and some things will happen. And considering the fact that he had helped a lot of people before, so those people would have easily paid back the favor by, putting me through. And my auntie also was a nurse, so but then we were in different states. I began to struggle and hustle for myself on how to get my foot into nursing. And then I remember talking to somebody and she's like, oh, you just passed your board, that's fine. You just came here, so relax. You go and pay your dues. I'm like, go and pay my dues? What do you mean go and pay my dues? She's like, yeah, go and pay your dues. After paying your dues, and then you know what to do. And that's why I want to show you this part of my life and this part of my journey, because I don't want some people to pay the dues other people paid. Honey, that you are an experienced nurse and you had it the rough way doesn't mean others should go through that route. Nurses, stop eating your youngs. Listen to me, stop eating your youngs. If you have an information that's going to make somebody's life better, why don't you go ahead and share those informations with them? Why hoard information? Why make somebody's life terrible? It's already hard as it is. Why make it harder than it is already? So I spoke to this lady, or my husband helped me talk to her, and she's like, oh, she should just go and go and work in a nursing home, which if I had the right counsel, I would have chose a different route, and that would have helped my career start off on a better light. But no, she didn't. She was the only one that we knew that would have given us that information, but she deprived of. She knew what would have been the best option, but she didn't give it to us. Like, she said, oh, go ahead and figure it out yourself, go and pay your dues. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay my dues. Of course, I went on, I did the things that I felt, because I was already working as a CNA, so I had places that I could apply, and they were already waiting for me. They were like, oh, come on, just get your license and we're ready to hire you. So I didn't know what else to do. That was the only thing that I had, and that was the only thing that I know. So I just started in the place where I used to work as a CNA. So I got hired, and that was a very big mistake, and I'm going to tell you why subsequently in another video. So but then I continued because when you have such experiences, they are not considered an acute care experience, and thereby the acute care hospitals are not going to hire you if you don't have acute care experience. And instead of you going to work in such places, there are better ways, like going as a new grad. I would have just gone for a new grad program with my fresh license, because for you to work as a new grad, you You mustn't have used your license to earn money, or you should have worked, you should have just worked for 6 months. So nobody told me that. I didn't know that. I had to figure out everything by myself. So being in that place didn't give me acute care experience, so that delayed my progress. That delayed me basically. So after some times, I got my habit. I got information that there was this other SNF, skilled nursing facility, that is affiliated to a very big hospital. So basically, when you go there and work for 6 months, you'll be able to transfer to the hospital, which was what I did. But before I got to this point, I had gotten several experiences that I am glad I did. Now I have experience in psychiatric nursing, so I have a psych experience, I have correctional experience, and then I have kind of hospice experience with all the elderly and all of that, and I have SNF experience. So I have experience with NG tubes, I have experience with tubes and trachs. So those were the things I gathered while in my nursing journey. But I would have just been able to just go straight to the acute care hospital, and that would have given me an upper arm or something. But some people are selfish with information, and I didn't do that. But luckily, I got into the hospital, and now my biggest challenge is, now that I'm in the hospital, I'm in the acute care settings. So I would have done my master's within this past year, but I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm kind of confused. I don't know if I should go for because I have background in psych. Should I do psych MP? Should I do FMP? I have like love for labor and delivery. Should I do OBGYN, or should I do critical care MP? But for me to be able to know what I want, I had to like really work in a hospital setting for me to be able to find out what really is. Not about just the money. It's about the money. It's about the money, and then doing what you like. So I wanted it too. I don't just want money. In as much as I want money, I also want to be happy going to work and all of those things. So that's why I've been delaying with my master's. And in this delay, I have gotten the experience, the oncology experience. I'm also going to do, I'm going to get an ICU experience, which I'm going to like keep you all glued to this channel with my ICU experience, because everything I learned from the ICU, I want to share with you guys. I want to share my experience with you guys. So yes, basically that's how I started. Right now, I am in the acute care settings, and I'm learning as much as I can and getting all this experience to be able to help me make informed and good choice because I don't just want to get like a master's degree. I want to really do something. I want to get something that I will be happy and be happy to do and be able to give my best in it. So yeah, that's my journey so far. So right now, I'm in a place where I'm still trying to move to the next level, but after this phase of my life, I'll be able to determine what I really want to do. I've gotten some experiences already that I think would help me make better choices and better decisions. But basically, if you are trying to relocate to the United States, if you're a nurse, if you're in nursing school, I want to let you know that there is nothing too difficult for you to do. All you have to do is believe in yourself. If any professor or if anybody has talked you down, which they did talk us down in our case, in my class, and me personally, if there's anybody that have told you that you can't do it, honey, you can do it. You can do it. Nursing is doable. Medicine is doable. Whatever it is that you set your heart and your mind to do, you'll be able to do it today. I'm a registered nurse in the United States of America. I'm a registered nurse, and not because I felt like I had all it took for me to get here. But the one thing I know that I had at the back of my palm was my determination. I knew that there is no amount of carryovers, there is no amount of failed classes that was going to make me give up. I made up my mind that I was going to be a nurse since I didn't go through with the law school, with the law. So I made up my mind I was going to be a nurse, and today I'm a nurse, and I'm reaping the fruit of me being a nurse. So subsequently, I'm going to tell you the things that I did for me to pass my NCLEX exams. I'm gonna do some reviews with you, the programs that I did that helped me as an international graduates. I'm going to tell you those things that are very vital. First of all, your content has to be top notch. You have to have your content at the back of your mind before you apply any exam strategies. So that's one point. Then I'm going to tell you how to go about sending your documents, and even some agencies that help migrate nurses from all around the world. I'm going to look into that, and I'm going to tell you some of that. I didn't use any of those agencies, but I know of people that did, and I'm going to make my more research, and I'm going to relate to you. But for now, I'm still here. So this is basically my nursing journey. Came from outside of the country, migrated from all the way from Africa. I'm not ashamed to say that. I came here, I beat the system by the power of God's Spirit. I did beat the system, and now I am enjoying the fruit of my patience and my tenacity. So if you're out there, if you're a nursing student, if you're back there in the country and you want to go to Europe, you want to go to America, outside the country to practice as a nurse, all you have to do is to be patient. All you have to do is to keep doing what you're doing, and I promise you, you're going to get to where you're going. And as a nursing student, don't give up on yourself. If you fail, that's not the end of the road for you. If you failed NCLEX, dust yourself up and continue. There is a greener light at the end of the tunnel. So until I see you next time, is PC, your girl. Go ahead and like this channel. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share with your friends. Until I come back to share more tips about nursing, marriage, relationships, and the family. I want you to continue having a blessed day and have a beautiful day. Bye.